Have a pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the meeting to order. First thing on the agenda, public speaking. Everyone has 2 minutes to speak, 30 minutes. Public speaking is over.
I have Greg Matheny here to talk to you about security system over at the fire station.
2 minutes, great. I'm son. Before we get started. Talked to Jim the other day. We were at John Cohen's funeral, and I heard that he was looking for a camera system for the fire department. And so I went over and visited, worked up a camera system. One thing I do sell is camera systems, and they're professional grade. Our company is camera systems that do homeland security, border security for the government, and so forth. But we are commercial grade camera systems. So what I have done is I've gone and made a actual drawing of the firehouse, all the angles and what Jim needed to do, and where are all the angles and what we need to cover. And we got I got a quote put together for him, and I have a copy of it here for you. There's a standard price on here, and there's a premium price on here. That determines how we end up with it and how we go, what direction we go. You know, I got a bottle.
You're right ahead.
I was showing Jim a couple things, and this is one thing that really helps determine what you're doing and how you're doing it. And quickly here, I'll show you a 5 megapixel camera versus an 8 megapixel camera, and what he needs is quality. So if we have someone that's come into that premise and is breaking in or stealing or whatever, this is a 5 megapixel camera. The quality is there.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell what's going on. We can see images of what's going on and so forth. You can blow it up. And this is actually, I'm dialed into Arizona. This is live feed out of Arizona is where I dialed into. And here's the system that we are proposing for him. Would be the thing he can pull up on his cell phone. Anybody in the area can pull it up on their cell phone and find it. Now you see the 5 megapixel camera. Let me show you an 8 megapixel camera and show you the difference of the quality. Let's see, find it real quick for you. This one actually is an 8 megapixel. You can see the difference. Actually, this camera is there's a box sitting on this desk. You can make out the lettering. It's 40 feet away, and the lettering on that box is this big.
Oh yeah?
That's 40 feet. You can make it out, but it's a long ways away. The quality of the crystal clear is phenomenal. This is the camera that we use for cash registers, and we can tell if somebody's got a nose ring in their nose and count how many money they're counting out. You need to see them?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Can do that.
But this is the quality of the camera we're proposing for Jim. Put a little note here on the standard one. He needs a 16 channel camera system for out there, and he needs 16 terabytes of memory to last 30 days. So the items that have the stars beside them on the standard are the things we have to have in the beginning. Now we can add to it as either money becomes available or it's allocated or whatever you do, however you come up with your funding, so forth. And that also includes the brush truck. Isn't that called the brush truck? That building out to the right? Tanker. Okay. The tanker building. That is a totally separate building, so we have to actually put in a wireless point-to-point system to get the live feed back to the computer that's in the firehouse. So there's that. I'm going to volunteer my time to put it in, but my computer technician, he does not volunteer his. And so we can talk about this if you need to. We can tailor make this system. If you go back to the premium side, that was the 8 megapixel camera that I showed you in Arizona that had could read the lettering that's an inch tall, 40 feet away. That includes this system. Everything in the standard system is 5 megapixel, and we cannot, the bandwidth is not big enough to put it on an 8 megapixel system because of the quality that you're going to get. The premium system, the computer itself is different because it's 4K. The terabyte in the memory size, 30 days, it takes 20 terabyte to run this system for 30 days. Some of it's still the same. The difference you're going to see in here, one camera for the kitchen is $832. We can tailor make this system, pull some stuff off the standard side and put on this premium side, and make vice versa and tailor make this more. But the reason why is because that camera that is a fisheye would do 180 degrees at once, and the computer will read each section of that 180 degrees and make it so that it is computer, and that camera has artificial technology in it. So say if Jim has a problem, we've got someone by the fryers and we need to do a facial recognition on that person, we can't do that. This system will do facial recognition. We have to take a picture of the face of the person, load it in the computer. As soon as that person comes on the property that's on a blacklist or not allowed to be there, it will notify Jim or whoever he specifies through the system. So it is a very state-of-the-art piece of equipment that we're proposing for the fire department.
Thank you, Rick. Anyone?
How long do these systems actually work for? I mean,
The cameras are warranted for 3 years. This computer itself is 5 years. Now I have one that's been working for 10 years. Now, I have replaced a camera here or there, and cables break and things that do happen. But yes.
Is there a monthly fee?
No,
Or
sir.
is it just,
It's a one-time deal. I have installed cameras at White's Funeral Home, G&W Plastics in Pepper's Plains. Coolville Fire Department has a brand new system sitting in their possession. I installed the first one at Coolville Firehouse. So, my flower shop is all protected that way. I have other private individuals that use our systems.
so we can put this on our cameras and we can check the firehouse every once in a while through our cell phone.
Just pray your internet's fast enough. That's the key. You gotta have a fast broadband connection to get into it. Did you check in some? Did you check that out?
That eliminates me.
eliminates a lot of us around here.
Well, but you have AT&T, right?
Yeah, Windstream.
But on your cell phone,
Cell phone's AT&T.
yes. So on your Windstream cell phone or your AT&T phone, you will be able to check it. Yes. That's what I was doing in Arizona, and I'm on AT&T, and I'm sitting here and along the road. So
Right.
yeah.
So is it an app?
Yes, it's an app.
If
on
you
your
said
phone.
that, I didn't hear it, so
I did not, but it's an app on your phone.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. This one I believe is called. Yeah, let me get out of it. Cortex IQ. That's what this one's called. But there's several. I have 3 on my phone for different places.
Okay. We'll talk about it later on here as we get into new business.
Are they infrared cameras?
Yes, sir. All of them have microphones in them too. So you don't dare say something you don't want to be known.
Eliminates me.
Because it does record up to 30 days, and then it will automatically start overriding the hard drives. And so, yes, that's something that we'll automatically do.
Anybody else got something to say?
I do, yes, sir. We had a pretty interesting exchange at the fire station meeting. The chief, he came forward, he apologized to me. He told me that it is a meeting open open to the public, and I should have been allowed in there. I appreciate him coming forth and making that apology. I could have been a bigger person myself. My concern at this point is the exchange that took place in the comments on YouTube. I had a big thing that I was going to give, and I was going to have it read out loud. I don't see the point in dragging the young man through the mud. The chief told me he would take care of it. I'm going to hold him to that. The one concern that I have from one of the comments this young man made is that he was willing to go and file a false restraining order against me because he didn't appreciate being recorded at the meeting. And he also said that he would use that as a tool to prevent me from being able to come to any of the township meetings or any of the future fire department meetings. I'm not going to mention all the other stuff that he said. I don't think that it's going to be very productive in this matter. I just think that that particular scenario should be addressed. I think that would be inappropriate for him to take that action against me. Let's just put it that way. So I'm going to leave the rest of that scenario alone. I'm going to hold the chief to his word that he'll address it, he'll take care of it. He knows who the individual is, and I hope that that young man finds some peace. I apologize that he was so offended by me recording. I was invited to that meeting, and I really just wanted to see what was going to be said about the UTV. I wasn't really trying to cause a scene. I know that everybody was more than happy to call the sheriff's department and have me removed, but I wasn't really willing to let it get to that point. It wasn't that serious. My next question is, did the township get any chip and seal done for the month of June?
No,
Can I ask why?
we are so far behind trying to get the mowing done. I had the guys working on getting the road ready for chip and seal. We had complaints because we wasn't mowing, so we pulled them off and started mowing. You know,
I understand.
it's not our fault.
We've been helping other townships out too, chip and seal wise too.
I'm curious because we just had that tax levy passed, and everybody's starting to wonder why we're not seeing any chip and seal being done. I'm not going to hound you about it. I'm just curious.
I had to pull a guy off last week, put him on the water truck to drill Young Road over there. I needed a CDL driver, so he worked 3 days over there, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, or today. So when you're behind, when something like that comes up, it just puts you that much further behind, and hopefully we can catch up.
And I just want to confirm in the future, the fire department meeting held on the third Wednesday at 7 p.m. I will be allowed to attend those without confrontation.
I have a comment first.
Okay. The fourth? I'm sorry.
I talked to Zach West today.
I don't know who that is.
He is our representation.
Okay.
He informed me today that's a possibility you might not be allowed to attend.
Okay.
Reason being is everything they do comes back through us. And you have a right here to see everything you present back to us.
And I know that the chief is allowed to make that decision. The trustees are also allowed to pass a resolution that makes it a public meeting. And I was going to request that tonight, and I didn't submit that to Ms. Buckley because the chief told me that it was an open public meeting that I was allowed to attend. That's my contention is.
But he's saying by everything, what they do, it all has to come back through us.
And I understand that.
That's
And in theory,
he
it
said he's
should.
got to look into it.
And I understand that, and my lawyer said the same thing. But the situation is, okay, you provided me with those meeting minutes from the fire department meeting, and you know they had talked about a helicopter pad, they had talked about a mailbox they had talked about wanting internet over there. You know, you say that all these things are discussed at this meeting, but I've been attending these meetings for over a year now. And
But nothing's been here though. That's what they discussed over there.
Okay.
It came back to us.
I'm just saying, I get your point, and I see what you're saying. Like the gentleman over there said, I don't see the reason why it wouldn't be open to the public. I don't see what they have to hide.
I understand.
They had nothing to hide, as far as I'm concerned.
And as long as I keep my mouth shut, I don't see any reason why I wouldn't be invited to those meetings. That's my contention.
May I
Eddie,
interject
Eddie,
here, something real quick? It may clear up a lot of this. At those meetings, there is no financial, how do I say it? Financial,
decision.
nothing, yeah, no decisions are made financially.
I
What those
understand that.
meetings are is so the group can get together, we can get one direction, it goes through him, he brings it to these meetings, and it's brought before the trustees.
I understand that, and
Okay,
and
I didn't know
and,
if that
and
was-
the situation that we ran into last week was it was a prearranged meeting that I had been invited to. They were going to discuss their side of the story on purchasing this UTV, and I just wanted to go and hear it because I was invited. That was it. I understand that they don't have to let the public in there. And I understand that everything has to come through here for these gentlemen to pass any votes on the expenditure of money.
Mhm.
But at the same time, why not? Well,
Well, I think the Ohio Sunshine Law may be the predictor on this one, the indicator on this.
well, they spoke to their attorney. I spoke to my attorney.
Well, that's all.
Yeah.
That's all right, there is a Ohio Sunshine.
There is.
Sunshine Law.
Yes,
I've got
sir.
it right here.
And this entity is publicly funded.
It is, and that was my contention. Is why wouldn't you welcome the taxpayers into your house just for one time a month, see what's going on? That was my contention.
We're not gonna make a decision on anything until we hear back from our prosecutor.
Okay, I got one thing I wanna say. If we are in a discussion about a run or something like that, I'll have to ask you to leave so we can discuss it.
That I absolutely understand that. I don't
Okay.
want any personal information. I don't want to know any. Like I said, I was just wanting to come and hear the discussion. I wasn't even going to say anything.
Okay.
It didn't need to turn into what it has become. But I will pass my time to the gentleman over there in the corner.
I've been in the Forest Service since '72, and all the departments I've been with, their meetings has never been open to the public.
Yes, sir.
I did some search, and none of them around here did.
I absolutely understand that, and it wasn't even an issue with that. It was an issue with I was invited, and then I was turned away at the door. That's where the problem lied. But I'm not going to beat a dead horse.
Okay.
See, before they invited you, they should have found out the legal the legal status on that before anybody's invited. I don't go unless I'm invited. Okay, I'm a trustee. I don't go unless I'm invited. The reason why I don't go unless I'm invited, because Anthem Farmer, he goes to the meeting. If I'm there, then somebody's gonna say, well, 2 trustees were there making a decision.
You're absolutely
If
right.
I don't go unless I'm invited, something comes up.
You're absolutely right.
And so,
But the chief still has the option of letting somebody attend. I don't.
we'll know more about that as soon as
All right.
the prosecutor gets back to us.
All right.
Anybody else?
I do. On a more pleasant note, I want to thank Chief Buckley for the letter about the meeting, the change of the meeting
So
date.
you did get yours?
Yes,
Ms.
thank
McBride,
you.
did you get yours and your father did as
Yes,
well?
ma'am.
I appreciate it.
No problem.
I looked, I thought maybe it might be in the Saturday paper, but you know what happened in the Saturday paper. It didn't come.
I apologize for that. I sent it to them. She sent it back to me because I had forgot to put what time the meeting
Well,
was.
I got the Saturday paper today,
Okay.
and it was in the Saturday paper.
Oh, it was in the Saturday
Yeah, but I
paper.
didn't get
Okay.
it on Saturday,
Okay.
but, I just,
Well, as
wanted
long as
to
you got
thank-
your letter, that's what I
wanted to
was
thank you,
concerned
that was
about.
very, very generous of you. I'm here to talk about Young Road. 773 days since it's been closed.
We're working on it.
Do we have any update? What we're working on? Well, I mean,
They
I've
got
heard, I've
four-
heard, Bob, I've heard that for, 2 years. We're working on it, but what have we done specifically?
They have surveyed it, they have did the core drilling, so now it's a waiting period of what the engineer comes up on the design, which I don't know how long that'll take. I have no clue. Depends on the soil samples and what they have to do on that part.
Okay. Well, good.
But
Well, I'm very much aware. I just wanted Buckley Group was there 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
and they did the survey. And I you know,
Terracom was over today, it's over Thursday, Friday,
Terracom was there with the
and
county.
today, and I think they was on the last hole when I left there this morning after I got
Were
rained
you
in.
there? Well, I was there too this afternoon. Terracom was leaving when I went down there. County engineer was there with his water truck. Or at least it said county engineer on it. Okay, well, thank you. You have no idea what's next or when?
I don't know. It's,
What is next? You say the plans have to be drawn up?
they'll have to go through the, first of all, they gotta analyze the soil samples,
Right,
see what kind of soil's in there.
yeah.
Then they'll have to determine what kind of wall to build or how to fix the slip. That all determines on the core drill.
Okay, well, they've already come up with an estimate of the cost, so don't they know that already? I mean, what if it's something different than what they estimated the cost to be?
I can't answer that because I don't know, they never said, so.
Well, you know what the cost is, it's about $400,000.
If we have enough money. That's gonna be the next thing, cause they core drill way down further than what Maiden had marked out. Yeah, they went clear down to past
Well,
that
are those-
big rock, they went clear down past that.
So are those stakes, those lath stakes with white tape on them, is that for the core drill?
Yeah,
They only have about 4 or 5 of them
yeah, they took 5 holes, I think.
now. I said 4 or 5, if you
The one that had to move because they were drilling it and the ground started moving underneath them, so they had to back up and go over further, so. And it filled up with water as they was drilling. So, I don't know what the situation is there, and I'm no
Well,
engineer.
can you believe that they'll give up the 3 funding sources, which I know one is you, for about 10,000. Can you think that those 2 funding sources would give you that much money and then not finish the job if it needed a little more?
I'd say they're gonna finish the job, it's just a matter of what they're gonna do, you know what I'm saying? Because they didn't know what was down there till they core drilled it, and now they know what
I
the
I
samples
was down
are.
there once, I saw it.
But they didn't hit the rock that they thought they was gonna hit down in there. So that's gonna throw a clinch in, because when they build those walls, they'll drill down to that rock. And then they'll go 10 feet into that rock to help hold the I-beams. So,
Well, do you think they'll be starting this summer?
we're
If they're gonna
pushing
go
to
out
have
to
it done
bid.
by the end of the year, but
What?
we're all pushing to have it done by the end of the year.
Have it done by the end of the year?
Yeah,
Well, that'd be nice. Yeah, okay, well, good, thank you.
but I don't know where that's gonna happen, how long it takes them to, do all their work and all that stuff.
Well, obviously you got on Buckley, didn't
Well, just an example was, Park Road over there, we core drilled it in February and we haven't done nothing yet on it, so I don't know.
that Park Road, man, I'll tell you, I drove down there a couple of times looking for it, I had a hard time finding it.
It's there.
Oh, I know it's there, I did eventually find it, but I was really worried about, traffic going through there.
But all I can say is the waiting period now to see what they're gonna do.
Okay,
That's it.
okay, well, thank you.
Anybody else? If not, we'll move on to reading of the bills, paying the bills, motion to pay the bill.
Motion to pay if funds are sufficient.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. What these I've got. We received, this is not in our bills, I know it's supposed to be in with correspondence, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. We received a bill from Athens Ace Hardware.
Huh?
So it says in the little tiny print that I had to, even my bifocals with me, it says that someone purchased a 20 by 100 4 mil black film for $69.97. So I called them and said, I don't have an invoice to match this. I said, no one has stated that they went to Ace Hardware, which is the one over on Richland. But I said, what's weird is it says PO number or PO hashtag RUSS. So I asked the lady, I said, what do we do about this? I said, I don't know anything about this, but I said, it's addressed to us. But I said, I'm not paying the bill. She said, no, don't pay the bill. She said, do you happen to, she said, do you use POs? And I said, no ma'am, I do not use POs, because I said, there's very little that's purchased through your organization. So I said, our gentlemen just go purchase the items, you send us a bill. I said, there's several of the places that do this. So she starts going through and she pulls up the invoice and she said, do you have somebody there named Ron or Rob? Or I said, no ma'am, I do not. I said, I don't know what this is, but I said, I don't think this is us. So she's going to look into it and she will get me called back. She said, hopefully I'll know something
We have no,
by the end of the week.
we have no reason to buy black plastic.
I know. So I don't know, I don't know what this is. So she's going to look into it, and when she knows something, she's gonna give me a call back. The lady's name is Tanya that works over there, so I'm just telling you. So I wanted you guys to tell me that I hadn't gone crazy and I had missed an invoice somewhere. So yeah, that was so I don't know, I said the only person that we have that even had a remotely, was, Gene, and his first name was Russell. But I said, he works for Lodi now. I said, he doesn't even work for us. So I said, I don't know if it was a mess up.
When was it purchased?
It was purchased on 5. I'm telling you, it's so small. 5/9. But I just received, the statement, so. Yeah, it's kind of a crazy, I just wanted you guys to be aware of it. It's just kind of one of those weird.
What size roll was it? Does it say what size it was?
It's 20 by 100. Yeah, 20 by 100 4mm black film. I gave her all the information that I had, and I said, ma'am, I said, I don't know what this is for and who purchased it. So she's gonna look into it, and when she knows something, she'll give me a call back, so.
We can use anything like that.
Yeah, I know, it's kind of crazy.
We would find plastic would be $6 million anyway.
We had a bill for Elko aggregate, we had 304, and then we had some, what they call dust. We had 3 tons of dust, and then we had 304, which is to build up the road before you guys chip and seal. That bill was $33.95. $3,395.
That dust I applied back over there on, Blackwood, are they responsible for that, or is that our responsibility? Cause I took that dust and put it back over on that road.
On the Blackwood
Barn or-
portion or Barnard portion?
Everything from the highway to the plant,
Well, that's a wire.
Matt should furnish
Yeah,
that.
he'll finish that.
so that's the dust.
Okay, so I need to send Elko, I need to send Matt Cochran a bill for the,
Well,
Yes or no?
if it was bought through the one
it's
in
bought through
Athens,
Elko.
then we have to pay for
Was
it.
that, he went, when Roy picked it up, he went over here as far as I know.
That
It's
should-
billed
that's,
out of Jackson. I'm
Jackson.
just,
That should come, Matt
Should have come
Cochran.
from Carthage, should
Yeah.
come from Matt.
That-
Yes.
I would say that comes
this
from,
one was Blackwood Road. That's where this dust, that was the ticket for the
Okay.
dust.
So that should go back to him. Because every bit of that dust was applied back on.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Okay, I have to avoid that one then, gentlemen.
Okay.
Or we just pay it, well, yeah, okay, so this one we need to send, I'll call over and talk to, what's his name? Jay, no. He runs the scales over there, I can't think of what his name is,
Oh,
off the
I-
top of my head. So they owe us for the dust then. You said it was used from Blackwood to Varner?
And that's all it was used
Barn
for. Right?
What's that?
That's all it was used for?
Yep, every bit of it.
Okay,
then he ought to furnish it.
Oh, boy.
okay,
Yeah,
Alright,
they ran
John.
out right there at Blackwood.
okay. Alright, I'll call him first thing in the morning, so that's all I can do right now. Treasurer, State of Ohio, we received, Chris Nutter sent this to me because it was sent to him via email. This is for the volunteer firefighters dependency fund that we are part of, and every fire department has to be part of this. It's $150 is what they charge per year. This is in case a firefighter is killed or disabled in some way. It goes to help paying their, it pays them a fee when they are disabled or injured, or if they're killed in the line of duty. So they're not sending mailed invoices anymore. They're going to send them via your email. So again, Chris dropped it off. It's $150. It goes to the Treasurer, State of Ohio. Napa, we had a very small bill this month. It was $7.50. If you guys can believe that. It was for some washers. And that was the only invoice that I had that we hadn't paid. Raymore Petroleum, this was for the, yes, it was for the diesel, and it was $2,650 and 68 cents. This was for 5/27, because I just got the statement for it, so that's what it was, $26.50, and it was for not much. It was for 227 gallons of clear, 168 of dyed, and for the regular gas, it was 179 gallons. So, we had a bill for Diamond Stone. This was for number 8 that Steve had hauled. And it was $6,365.88.
So that comes out of the ARP fund.
No, not,
Which,
Remember, we found out we could buy stone out of the ARP fund?
okay,
yeah,
So we want that to come out of the
so
ARP fund.
8 needs to come out of, because it should have come out of chip and seal, because that's what you guys said that the 8 was for chip and seal.
But we're gonna take it out of the ARP fund,
Okay,
save what we have in chip and seal for cars. Right?
okay.
We gotta use that money for something.
That's fine.
Yeah.
If you guys will go ahead and sign this, I will do a transfer inside my UAN, and I will but I will, take it from one account, and I will put it back into that account, and then take it out of the ARP money. So, but you guys can go ahead and sign this, and we can go ahead and get this into you, okay? But I will make a note on that that's what needs to happen. What will happen, instead of coming out of the 2141, which is our chip and seal account, it will come out of the 2273 account, which is our ARP fund. We had Candy Plastic. This was $57.60. It was for 4 12-inch flex split couplers. The warehouse tire, I finally got it all straightened out. The gentleman had tried to, I had called and they were supposed to send me a copy of the invoice through my email. And I waited and waited and waited, and I finally called him back, and he tried to send it to me, so I had to call back because it still didn't send. He copied, I don't know if he inadvertently copied my email address down wrong or what, but, so we were able to get it figured out. The $2,056.86 was for the newer brush truck that you all purchased for the fire department. Then we had $35 and $50 of a tire repair, and we also had tire repair with a brass valve. Then we had a new tire for the road drag, which was $169.75, and then there was just We had to purchase tires for the 550, the 2016, and it was 1963. So the total that we owed warehouse tire was $4,275.96. So I got all of that straightened out. Randy's $71.40, Randy's Ag Service. It was for 2 hydraulic hoses, or for the hydraulic ends and the hose. 71.40 was the total on that one. You guys had TP1 stop, it was for miscellaneous hardware of $25.96. We had Menards. Menards is the statement looks a little crazy. The total bill is $606.91. There was 3 culverts purchased. They purchased them, then they took them back, for a refund. And then the 3 correct size culverts were purchased. So you end up with a,
No, okay, yeah.
Yeah, no, continue.
Okay, okay.
We were both a little shocked there to start with, but
it's okay.
it's working.
And, then we had a outstanding invoice that I had him send me. It was from 422, it was for an EMT conduit, an antenna wall mount, a U-bolt, some screws and pipe coupling. And I believe that was for the antenna for the brush truck, am I correct on that?
No.
Okay.
Run over them again.
Okay, it was for a 3/4 inch by 10-foot EMT conduit, an antenna wall mount kit.
That's for the windsock.
Okay, it's for the one sock.
Windsock, man.
Okay. It still came out of it came out of the fire fund.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay, we're good on that. So the bill is $606.91 is what we owe in ours.
Well, next time we get culverts up there, just to have a couple, and then have a bell on.
Oh,
Okay, Donwood Automotive, we received several bills from them. We received
Well-
I'm sorry,
how come they didn't pick up trolley when they got them? The couplers. They should have picked them up in the yard. I'm sorry.
they
Kim.
didn't, we got them from K&E.
I'm sorry. Bill.
Oh, no, you're fine, you're fine. We received, and you guys will get to this, it was a fan clutch, for the, 2656 fire truck. So it was $853.47 to have it fixed. Then we had batteries for the 550, and it was $407.90. And then we received another invoice for the brush truck, and he handwrote it on the front of the thing, but it was $564.10 for items. It was a sensor for the F-350.
What?
That's what it says back here, I'm telling you.
I'm just trying to understand what it is.
That was for the sensors that warranty didn't cover.
Yeah, it was for the sensors of the one, thank you. There's like 3 of them, 2 of them, one sensor,
Yeah, first time the check engine lights came on,
yeah.
and that was the sensors for that,
So
exhaust sensors,
So the total bill was $1825.47.
and then that belt and clutch is when it overhit.
As I said, it was for our our 550 truck, and then it was for the brush truck for the firehouse. We had a bomb lumber, it was $86.04, it was for blades.
Big check.
Huh?
Was there a check for this?
Yeah, he's got the rest of it.
Oh, okay, oh, this is just part of that, gotcha.
Yeah. Riverside Towing, to
Gotcha.
have the brush truck towed, it was $75. And that is it for all the bills, your guys' checks. Oh, we also have, we had one more. This was for the Marks radios that we have, that's due quarterly for the Marks radios that the firehouse has, and it was $60. And you can now make those online. That's what they're preferring is everyone do, so you can stick your signature on that.
Okay.
And then your checks, Ransom and Worley's was $887.30, Roberts was $837.30, and mine was $1396.38.
Where you'll be signing it.
Just put your initials on it, it's just,
You told me to sign.
oh, I'm sorry. Just stick your initials, it's just saying that I paid it, and that was the confirmation number. But they're doing a lot of that lately, they want a lot of the things paid online rather than doing checks. I don't know if it's, I'm sure it's cost effective for them, it's,
Is this from Bonds, is this, where they pump the gas, water out of the lawnmower? It just says labor.
says Blaze.
Yeah.
No, it says Blaze, but then also says labor.
Yeah,
But it was all through the cemetery.
I still don't understand what the water got in the gas tank.
Yeah.
Must be bad gas.
No,
Okay. I don't know.
impossible. Same tank, same gas goes in the truck.
And the chainsaw.
And the saws and the radiator.
Now, I have two more bills that I just need confirmation on so I know what to do with them. We received one from Twin Oaks Refrigeration. This was the reach-in cooler issues, the Hobart two-door cooler. Do we pay that or does the auxiliary pay that?
We'll pay it. I think we
Yeah,
can pay it.
that's on the refrigerator.
Yes.
It's ours.
Okay, I just didn't know because sometimes I pay it and then the auxiliary ends up paying that, that's why I just left it. And then we have one here for fire safety. This is for I don't know what DB stands for, but it's DB Smith, DBL 501 Smoke Chaser Pro. There's supposed to be two of them.
And the impacts.
You know, they already paid for it.
I haven't got through my invoice yet, so what it
Okay.
says there's two each at $224, so it's $448. Then there's shipping of $57.50. The balance due is $57.50.
Well, I'm gonna call them tomorrow.
Okay.
Because I got a quote from them, only for $448,
Okay,
so,
Yeah, the
I
auxiliary
got-
doesn't pay for that.
yeah, they already
as
paid
I said,
for
I
that.
didn't want to, cause I didn't know what it was for, so I thought it
Yeah,
was just
I
easier
got
to
this
ask
today
you.
too, so
Okay,
I'm gonna call them tomorrow and tell them
Okay.
about it.
okay, that is it for all the, if you guys will just, that's just a blanket certificate, so I can pay bills. That's what I missed. And here's that's some correspondence from them. That's it for the bills, gentlemen. We paid bills, including payroll, from 6/6, which was our last meeting date, until now was $32,288.37. Unfortunately, it's not cheap per month.
You done with that?
I believe so.
Reading the minutes.
Okay, the minutes were for the regular meeting for June the 6th, 2022 for Carthage Township at the meeting room at 7 o'clock. In attendance were Bob Collins, Willie Gass, Ransom Calloway were the trustees. Gail Buckley was the fiscal officer. This is the sheet for the rest that were in attendance. Robert Collins called the meeting to order with the reciting of the Pledge of Allegiance. Public speaking, Mr. McBride asked about the chip and seal and when it would be done, and asked about the mowing. Mr. San Angelo asked about Young Road progress. Bob stated that they haven't, we're waiting for core drilling, suggested that we call Terracon about the holdup. Robert Pullins asked for the bills and a motion to pay the bills if money is sufficient. Ransom made the motion to pay the bills. Willie Guest seconded, all approved. All bills were paid and payroll was signed and payroll was given to the trustees and the fiscal officer. All of the end of the month paperwork was given to the trustees. Gail Buckley asked the trustees about the leak insurance on the township building and the fire department. Ransom made a motion to pay the leak insurance. Willie seconded, all approved. The minutes were read. Willie made a motion to accept the minutes with the correction. Attached is how the minutes should have read. Ransom seconded, all approved. And I have the amendment that we agreed upon with the signatures from the trustees. The correspondence was read. The levies were presented to the trustees that had passed in the primary election. Metcalf Road has an abandoned well that will be plugged. Old business. Bob said that the grant for the UTV, that the fire department needs to discuss it in further detail. The fire meeting is June the 22nd, 2022. Mr. McBride asked if it was open to the public. Jerry Green stated yes, it is. Ransom stated that the skid unit for the newer brush truck should be here in about 2 weeks. Tim Day asked about what all was on the skid unit. There's a tank, a pump, 3 hose reels plus additional items. The cost is $17,000. New business. Dutch Ridge needs a culvert replaced in the low spot by McGrath and at the Windlands. They will need 2 culverts to go across the road at a diagonal and 1 at the Windlands, a total of 3 culverts. Ransom stated they haven't found a surveyor yet for the cemeteries. The phone and internet is still out of the township building. Fence posts at the McBrides. The trustees agreed that they were in a good location and the McBrides will be installing woven wire. Bob stated that the F-550 is still at Donwood, should the trustees consider trading it on a gas meter truck. Willie asked if the USD paperwork can be used for the purchase of the truck. Old loader is broke, it won't move, it was a gift. Bob stated that no more money needs to be put into it. Bob suggested replacing it with a skid steer. The fire department presented their May report. Ransom gave rental money of $25. Chief Allen stated that the older brush truck is at Donwood, and they are hoping it is only the fan issue, waiting for a call about the diagnosis. Willie made a motion to adjourn. Ransom seconded, and all approved.
550 is back, running
So
good.
are we okay with the minutes?
No.
No.
Just the last statement there, that the older brush truck, we've only got 1 brush truck, it's not an older one. But the 2656 brush truck is at Woods.
Okay. All right.
And going backwards there. That's it. Just reminded me we need to discuss something later on.
Oh, okay. So we're good.
I am.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, hearing no further minutes or discussion? Yeah. Hearing no further corrections, I move to accept the minutes as read.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Correspondence?
Correspondence. I did send a note to Mr. Mitchell McBride, to Jonathan McBride, and to Mr. St. Angelo about the meeting being moved. We received this from Jeffords. It's always about Bobcat information. We also received from Kaledia Truck Equipment. They're always trying to sell us stuff, so it's their correspondence. We received information from Tractor Supply. All they want us to do is go in and update who has the authority to purchase. And I know I had sent them who was allowed to purchase and who we had to take off, but they want us to do it online, so I have not done that yet. but I will get to it. What they want your full name and your date of birth for all authorized buyers on the account. So if there's someone that you don't want on there, I need to know. I assume all the employees can go to Tractor Supply and purchase items for the township, or
Just two of them, two road workers. Right?
I'm good with it.
so just Roy and Steve,
Yeah.
and then all the trustees. Okay, I just wanted to clarify that one and see what we did. I forgot to make copies of these for you guys, but you guys can have this and post it. We got a notification from Diamond Stone. It says, dear valued customers, beginning June the 15th, which we didn't get it till after June the 15th. Due to challenges we're experiencing with inflation, widespread shortages, and rising input costs, we will be implementing a price increase across the board that will not exceed 17% on all aggregate products. The increase will not affect any pricing that has a current purchase order or under contract. Any current quoted work can be subject to an increase with respect to its expiration date. Any questions concerning the pricing, you can call the sales representative. And then there is, fuel prices continue to be volatile in our industry. In our continued effort to provide you with the best service possible, we find it necessary to implement a fuel surcharge. So we realize that this can be cumbersome, but at the same time, the uncertainty associated with the cost necessitates this to be done. The fuel surcharge will be based on your monthly retail averages published by the U.S. Energy Information Administration. So you guys are really welcome to look at those and post them over in there. So. We received a postcard from the Athens Meigs County Farm Bureau Board of Trustees, invites you to join them for a policy development breakfast on Tuesday, July the 19th at 2022, starting at 7:30 a.m. in the meeting room at the Ohio Division of Wildlife. It says if you're able to attend, please RSVP. So I don't know what the correction is. They didn't say, so I don't know if they had the date wrong originally. So if anyone wants to attend that, let me know, put your initials on it, and I'll call them on that. This is the notification we got about Young Road Slip. It just came from, I can't pronounce his name, from Terracon, just saying that the drilling is scheduled for July 7th and 8th, but because Bob said that they had been out doing it, they got to it a little earlier as well. So I received in your guys' packet, Tammy Gigline had sent through, it's just about some ODOT resource guide, and I just passed it on to you. One is the resource guide that just gives information about local technical assistance program, major bridge program, and then there's a slideshow that went with it. So I shrunk it all down so it didn't waste as much paper, but you guys can look at that. It's just an overview of the Ohio transportation-related programs, funding resources, and contracts. So, and then we received, it's from the Ohio Township Association, it's a legislative alert, and really none of it, the only thing that applies to us is grant programs for the townships. It's got federal updates, state fair volunteers needed, Drive Ohio releases, public input sought, Nexus pipeline update, so there's some information in here, which really doesn't, most of it doesn't apply to us. It just says cemetery grant application for the townships, and then it says that more than $573 million is available funding from the new railroad crossing elimination program. Well, unfortunately, we don't have any of those in our, so. You guys can look at them, do what you want. So that was basically all the correspondence that we received.
And old business?
Yeah, old business. I was on the phone for nearly an hour it was, 6 minutes short of an hour with Frontier this morning. We still don't have any phone, any internet. There's supposed to be a technician here tomorrow. It took an hour.
I'm surprised you didn't get kicked off, cause that's what's happened to
With,
me, every
with,
time
with
I,
some lady that I could hardly understand, and I asked for her location, and she said, "We are sorry, we're not able to give that information."
we
That's
are,
what they do to me.
we are
I'm in
struggling
the
with
same boat.
Frontier right now.
I'm in the same boat.
Frontier,
No internet.
Did they get it back at the firehouse? Ain't back at the firehouse neither.
Nope, and I tried to get hold of them today, and I couldn't, call Branchman was on there for that.
I was on there for an hour, the week I was on, and all I got was the pretty music.
It's a joke.
It is, and I have tried
Verizon and I
repeatedly.
don't have service.
Huh?
I got Verizon and I don't have service.
Is that right?
They told us that they were aware of the problem.
This lady
It's
wasn't
been
even
2 months now, they ought to be
She-
aware of the
She said
problem.
that there was no indication of an outage in your area, and I said, well, yeah.
Well, you're a day ahead of us. They told us the 7th.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, you'll be back on tomorrow.
don't
Supposedly.
anyone hold your breath. I don't.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And speaking along that way, or about that, I went to T-Mobile, they gave me a unit to try down here at the Spar Station. It will not work, because of the metal building,
Oh,
they can only get 2 bars on it.
Oh,
that ain't good. That ain't good.
Yeah, wireless won't penetrate. There's something else I wanted to mention.
Well, usually what's happened when I have called through, I go on and it says, please put your phone number in, and someone will get right back, you know, they'll get back with you
Exactly.
in time. And it kicks me off before I can put my phone number in.
Yeah.
So
They're in another country, so.
I am frustrated as everybody else is. I'm doing my best, but I can't get through to them, and I tried different times. I tried at midnight,
I bet
trying
you
to
get
get
hold of
through.
it, you didn't make the payment.
We've been calling and we've been, there's been some
Oh,
calls,
it's
I
frustrating,
called.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. They don't care. They don't care, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you know.
Yeah, be sure to ask for a credit.
Yeah, this time we're
Oh,
asking for credit. It's been 5 days.
I'm gonna ask for both because I can't, I mean, but I can't get through.
Yeah.
So it is truly, it is frustration. And we have all tried.
Okay,
So,
anything
sorry.
else? I wanna put on hold the, talk about, I suggested about buying a skid steer. I'm scared to death on our budget next year because the higher gas prices, higher food prices, and everything else. I'm afraid that we ain't gonna have the money next year to buy one.
And the fact that they're canceling the gasoline tax, which has been a big help to us.
That's gonna ruin us. If
have they done
cancel
that, have they
gas-
done that yet in Ohio?
Huh?
Have they done it in Ohio?
They haven't done it yet, but they sure are talking
I
strong
know,
about it.
talking about the federal, which is,
They'll, yeah, that's gonna hurt us bad.
I've not received anything, from Tammy stating, even federally, she's not, Jill Thompson's office hasn't sent anything through, so.
Maybe go back up
I
one.
think we ought to hold off on any purchase till after we see what's gonna happen next year, my opinion. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, and, second, mentioned purchase, did, anybody follow up on the USDA paperwork for the truck? Community development,
I don't have it all completely done yet,
okay,
so
working on it,
I am.
okay.
It's just like a lot of them, there's the paperwork, you think you've got it, and then they want other information to go along with it, so I'm working on it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we knocked around this ATV thing for the fire department in the trailer. Did you guys make any decision over at the firehouse,
Yes,
their last meeting on that?
pass these around, so one for each of you.
I think it's time to put for a close.
Shouldn't have gone there for, I didn't bring it,
It's all right, I'll just look over mine.
Yeah, we had a meeting there, 29th, and, we brought it up and discussed it quite a bit. And after the discussion of it, I put a secret ballot out there for the guys to vote on. I only had 7 members that was eligible to vote, and they voted 5 for and 2 against.
5 for and 2 against.
Right.
So I still don't have a total price.
We was figuring up the other night, right around 25, wasn't it?
I don't
He
know.
wasn't there.
Well, I know, Willie was there.
I was there, and of course, what I've heard here, what they said over there, they've used it a lot more than the 4 and 5 times that was said here. But it's still,
I got an update on that also.
okay,
Yeah. I'd like
because
to-
they came
I would like to see it.
over the meeting that was stated that they've had it out 16 times. They've used it 10 times, and they brought people out of the woods with it, or rescued people with it 4 times.
Where did you
That's
get
what
that information?
That's what they was said before you
Who's
came
that?
in.
I know, I was late, and I apologize for being late.
The one another, because I don't know.
Well, I went through,
Yes.
I went through and checked the runs and everything. I got 11 brush cars from the time we started answering calls
In 19,
until up to June 17th. And there was 5 assistants with EMS we could have done, but we didn't have the meetings to use the ATV for it.
How many brush fires was it, Jim?
11. And that was over the period of, like I said, when we first started until now.
5 years.
Uh,
A little over 5 years, or 4.5.
We started in 19.
19.
Yeah, it would've been January the
3.5,
1st.
okay,
How,
sorry.
what was the number on the assist?
There would have been 5 of them.
5.
Yep.
That we were requested to move a patient with an ATV.
Correct. But we ended up manhandling.
Huh.
Okay.
And back to the money part,
Yeah.
he said 15,000 plus the trailer, we have to trade it in too, correct?
Yeah, we traded the old one in,
Okay,
and that
so
was,
we're my opinion, we're 30,000, counting the trailer, we're 25,000 plus, I don't know what the trailer's worth, but it's gotta be worth $4,000 or $5,000, somewhere in there, correct?
it was right around 30, I think. It was 20 for the ATV with the skid,
Right.
and 10 more, I think it was, plus our trailer, to get the new trailer fit.
So we're now at
30,000.
30,000 and the trailer,
Right.
so technically we're at 35,000. Cause you got the value of the trailer,
No,
you have to count the trailer,
that was already figured in there.
okay?
Well, yeah, I see where,
You see,
I see where
the
you're
trailer
coming
has a
from now.
value. Well,
see where
if
you're coming-
you took the car and you traded it in, the car's worth $25,000, and you bought a brand new truck, it's $50,000, you paid only $25,000 for the truck,
Right,
but you still got 50,000
right,
involved.
right, right.
I mean, that, I just,
So we're talking
And-
30,000 for everything. That's skid.
No, not for everything, you're gonna have another 1,000, 1,500, with the prices escalating, maybe $2,000 before you get it decaled. As you want it, both units.
does that include?
Oh, the trailer?
Yeah, trailer and the ATV.
What about a winch, does that include a winch on the ATV, cause you probably want a winch or something like that on it too?
Yeah,
I don't think it was you wasn't able to mount one on the front of it.
Okay, what about the rear somewhere, I mean, if you get it hung up somewhere, how you gonna get it out?
It might have a receiver on the rear.
So,
We're talking around 34,000. Total.
Give or take, yeah. And then minus the 10,000 from the forestry.
So if we use the 10,000 from the forest department on this, then we gotta pay the full amount for the unit that goes on the brush truck.
Right.
So we're not getting
And
anything.
the trailer that was priced in this trade-in, what kind of floor does it have in it? Is it a beefed up floor, or is it high heavy duty, or is it?
I could not answer you on that, Will.
I mean, cause we get a cheap trailer, cheap floor in it, that ain't easy, but water in it, we're gonna have a hole in the floor, now we
Well,
gotta
we
bring the
had
floor.
to, we had to book the southern up.
We already had to reinforce the one we got,
Okay.
for that very reason.
I'd say it'd be probably wood floor off the ones in there, right? That's in there.
Probably.
That's what I'm assuming.
I think it's composite, I think it's chipboard,
Oh, that'd be more.
I think that's what it is.
What is that bar, that'd be 1292, 2192?
2191.
And this grant we got, we can apply for it again next year, correct?
Correct.
Possibly see where we're at next year at the time.
And changing it doesn't reflect the possibilities in the future.
No.
And you can use the 10 for anything that's related to forestry, fire. It could be applied to the skid unit that goes in the truck.
Do you wanna read that so they understand it? Since that's been a big question with some other people, not anybody in this room. You can make that.
Okay, this is from, yeah, okay.
That's why I gave it to you, cause I can't read it.
Okay, this is from Aaron Klaus, and he is the, one of the directors of ODNR, Ohio Department of Natural Resources. If Carthage Fire Department needs to forego the 2021 VFA grant opportunity that was offered to you, it will not reflect poorly on your fire department or on future grant scoring. We realize that changes occasionally happen that affect the fire department's financial situation or capital plans. So it's not an issue if you need to cancel this award. If you would like to revise your VFA grant narrative to where you would use the funds to support purchasing a slip-in unit for your brush truck, wildlife suppression tools, or wildlife PPE, that would be acceptable, because that adjustment would not affect your grant score dramatically. Your proposal still would have been offered funding. Please let me know how you'd like to proceed. And that's from the Ohio Division of Forestry, Ohio Department of Natural Resources.
So we voted to take the unit that goes on the brush truck out of the ARC money, right?
Jared, what you need to
Right.
forward that to me. And I'll print it off, thank you, you don't need to do it right now, and I'll just attach it to.
Remind me before I leave,
No,
or I'll
that's
Can we
fine,
go back and change that though,
that's fine.
Go back and check it.
as far as taking that out of the art money?
Huh?
Can we go back and change that? Cause we agreed to take it out of the art money, correct,
Yeah,
for the brush truck? We can go back and annul that?
you don't have to know anything. The purchase has to be in advance, and then you get the money back, so then you redeposit it to 10.
But what I'm saying is, we had a motion a couple months ago that we finish the brush truck out of the art money.
Mhm.
Do we have to go back and amend that?
I
If-
don't
if-
think we would.
Okay,
I
if-
really don't.
to use this grant to go to the brush truck to finish it up, if that's what we decide to do.
Well, I've been doing some calculating here. According to my calculation, if we buy the trailer and the ATV, which comes up to $34,000. We have 53,000 left in the FAR fund, which is gonna take us down to $19,333 to last you guys till October.
It would be 9,000 because you have to take
Right.
10 off of it.
So,
No more than what we use it in a year's time, maybe 4 times a whole year. I was one of them that voted no. off for another year or two maybe.
Another thing I'd like to bring up now is, there's some discussion on the old one at the meeting about being unsafe and unfit to drive.
We've got it,
If,
places we've got,
if that's the case, my feelings, it needs to be taken out of service. I'm just saying.
But you can't take it out of service unless you get something to replace it with.
Do we have to have an ATV?
No. First of all,
That's,
if you,
you know what I'm getting at.
I
If somebody gets hurt on it,
drove
I don't
this
want them coming back on
UTV
us.
before.
I
Okay.
understand.
I have my own UTV. I rode ATVs in the past. I'm comfortable driving one. I do not feel it is safe when I am operating it.
Why
Okay?
it makes you think it's not safe?
I'm not one of them that thinks it's not safe. So whoever thinks it's not safe, first of all, shouldn't be operating it. You know,
I agree.
and that could be just because of their knowledge and ability to operate a UTV. Or they're driving something just to buy a new one in their name.
I understand that.
So I'll address that as a firefighter is here, that,
But I'm just bringing stuff up that was discussed.
and that's fine, and I'm just, as a firefighter, not an
But my
officer,
feelings on
not
it,
an officer, as just a firefighter, I feel comfortable driving that UTV with my abilities to know how to operate one. The people that probably feel that it's unsafe shouldn't be operating our vehicles anyway, because they don't know how to drive.
A bit of this conversation came up, well, I wish I'd have been there,
Why weren't you?
because I had machinery difficulties.
And
He
they
was
changed
having a
the-
big day that day.
And they changed the meeting night?
Yeah,
Okay.
they did, they did, they boosted it up a day, and that kind of threw a wrench in my plans, but, okay, I wasn't there, but I was led to believe that this UTV had been rolled over prior to our buying it. I was not aware of that.
That was never brought up by the
Never.
same individual that was pushing us to buy it when we bought it.
And
Okay.
it never was brought up when we talked to the fireman about it out there before we bought it, and it never brought up.
He and I both went to Tepper's Plains, that's where it came
Yeah.
from. We drove it, we ran it around, nothing was mentioned about it had been in an accident, it had been scratched, it had been scuffed, let alone rolled over. Now, I don't know if they mean rolled over or tipped up on its side. But regardless, it wasn't shared.
right,
I've had a ATV for years and years and years. Matter of fact, I got two, a Gator and our son's got a Ranger I use all the time. And I have never come to the point with either one of them
So,
of rolling it over because I watch where I'm going with it.
now, to follow up on what I just said, I wasn't aware of it. What has happened to it, by the time we purchased it with undisclosed, points, to now that it's become unsafe, what's happened in that length of time? It's set in the trailer, as far as I know, or set inside the building.
So, we can talk about this
Well,
from now till breakfast time. I wanna put it to a vote, we either buy it or we don't buy it. I want an emotion, either buy it or don't buy it. I mean, we've dug it on now for 2 months,
In
and I
this
think it's
situation-
time to put it to rest.
my opinion, the cons outweigh the pros. That's my opinion on it.
Then make a motion that we don't.
I make a motion, we don't purchase the fire ATV at this time. Maybe check back into it beginning of the year, next year, when the grant's available again.
could I suggest that part of that motion be also that we use the grant money to the purchase of the truck skid unit?
That's fine, yes,
So we could have two items in one motion.
yes, that's fine.
Now it sounds like commerce.
I have a
We'll pass
motion.
the bill and we'll add something else to it, okay. That's all right, that's fine, I'm just joking around.
What, just put numbers down, you said you figured about 34,000 for the UTV, if you go the way of using the grant money for the skid unit. How much money would that save the department? Just a quick guess.
You said the skid unit was $17,000.
Be right at 20,000, right?
Yeah.
Right around 25,000, somewhere in there. That would save it right now, I mean, you know,
The unit you and I worked on, about 17
It would save the
grand, so the 10,000,
25 or so thousand for the brush unit. but
Yes,
would
it would
also
save, yeah,
save
right,
another 10,000
Yeah.
that we would have had to purchase for the truck.
right. So, in actuality, it's gonna save.
Well, the reason I don't wanna take any more out of the ARC money after we pay for the unit for the truck is because I don't know how much money we're gonna have to spend on Young Road and paying,
In addition,
and we don't have a whole lot of money right now in our road and bridge. If we make it to October, we're gonna be lucky with what we have. So we're using ARC money to buy stone with to try to save that. So that's one reason why I don't wanna spend any more ARC money than I have to.
could I ask if you read back the motion?
I'm sorry.
Could you read back the motion?
I said Bob Pollins made a motion that we don't purchase the new UTV and trailer at this time.
No,
I
Willie
made a
did.
motion.
Willie,
I'm sorry. Well, you made the motion.
No, I asked for a motion,
Oh, okay.
sorry.
No, it's okay. Bob Pollins asked for a motion that we don't purchase the new UTV and trailer at this time. Willie Guess made the motion to use the $10,000 matching grant on the skid unit for the brush truck.
And check in to see where we're at next year as far as applying for the grant again for the ATV. Money wise, I mean, I don't, you know, at that time, we might be all sitting okay, and then we maybe apply for it again, and, you know, we might get it, we might not, be worth it. Be worth applying for.
Should we make it associated wildland equipment? That way, if it comes back and the unit's only 17 and you can buy another $3,000 or $4,000 worth of extra equipment, you get the whole 10,000 back.
And do what for it? I'm sorry, Jerry.
As he read in here, we can buy not only the skid unit, but we can buy wildland gear,
Oh, okay.
tools, which would be,
Right.
some we've already purchased, the saw and stuff like that, but we've already purchased that we could turn back in and get reimbursed for this grant.
Oh, okay.
So we can try to use up the 10,000.
yeah, so we can add those values
Yes.
onto the skid
But just remember though,
and turn it in.
the more you use towards that 10,000, the more we gotta pay here.
But what I was saying was, you guys have already purchased us this year,
Right.
some stuff that we
Yes.
can recap some of that money on, is what I was trying to point out. that
Oh,
we
okay.
use it for, not spending anything extra.
Okay, any further discussion on the motion? Oh, I'm sorry, Bob, you should have said that. I'm
So
sorry.
I'm gonna read it
Then-
again to make sure that we have what you guys wanted to say. Bob Pollins asked for a motion that we do not purchase a new UTV and trailer at this time. Willie Guess made, wait a second, Willie Guess, this is what happens. I think I got it. Willie Guess
You're
made the
wrong already
motion.
so far.
I'm sorry?
I did not ask for a motion not to purchase it. I asked for a motion for either buy it or don't buy it.
And then it was Willie's, that, as he said, don't purchase, but use the funds for the truck skid. And reapply.
Okay, so Bob Pollins asked for a motion to buy or not buy the unit. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And then Willie made a motion to reapply for the grant next year.
All in favor?
I'll second, give me a second.
Okay, that's okay. What else do I need to add to this?
Nope, that's fine.
No, go ahead.
I just see if it was a second or not.
Mention that.
I'm getting ready to, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I
I
second,
thought you already did.
No.
Sorry.
I second that motion.
Sorry, gentlemen.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, got that to rest, we won't hear no more about it for a while. We have an employee, I don't know whether he talked to you guys or not, but he chewed on me quite a bit. A lawnmower guy, has he chewed on you guys?
He hasn't mentioned it to me,
Has he mentioned it
and
to
I
you?
talked to him quite a bit
Yes.
this morning, thinking that he might. But he ain't-
Well, I guess I must have the sweetest butt then.
yeah, you're a peach, Bob.
Anyway,
He hit me up a couple weeks
he either wants another week's vacation or 50 cents in raise.
He told me 50 cents in a week or $1. That's what he told me.
Well, my
But-
thing is, we give him $1.50 raise this
Yes,
year.
I understand that.
We didn't give the other employees anything.
Right. My question is, did Roy get a raise after 90 days?
No,
He has not gotten that
we
yet.
haven't voted on that yet because I didn't know what our funding was gonna be here. We need to give him a raise because that's what we promised him after 90 days,
Mhm.
but,
You know where that's gonna go though. The other one's gonna want one as well.
I know, but we already give Keith a raise this month.
I'm talking about Steve too.
Well, there was a motion
It won't
passed.
affect because we promised, as long as he's not making more than Steve, and Steve can't say nothing.
Okay.
If we give Roy a 50-cent raise, he's still under Steve. Alright? What's,
I don't know, I have to look it up. I mean, I don't know off the top of my head, Bob.
well,
All I know is that we made a motion, we passed in the minutes, and I don't remember when the minutes were, that the guys were not to get a raise until after January the 1st of 2020. We had passed that in one of the minutes, and I'll have to look it up, but that's,
That was only
but
last
that was the
year.
old 2-0 employees. But when we hired Roy, he was on probation for 90 days. And we told him we would give him a raise after the 90-day, which we do to every
Mhm.
employee that comes in here.
because they're on a 90-day probation.
Right. If anybody's entitled to a raise, it's Roy. That's where I'm standing.
Okay.
Well, another facet to that argument is today. What did I tell you, 10:40, 10 something? Keith clocked out, let's say 10:30 this morning.
Why?
Well, it was raining, I guess, I don't know, I was after parts.
So
But
raining, and
He could have,
This is at 4 o'clock tonight, I believe also.
Well, my statement was to him when he was chewing on me one day, I said, he said the gas prices are going up, and he couldn't afford to drive down here. And I said, well, Keith, that's hurting me too. I'm paying over $6 a gallon for diesel fuel, and I'm running all over the township in my truck, because we didn't have anything else to drive. And I said, it's hurting me too. And it's hurting the other two guys just as much as it's hurting you know?
well, my point is, if he's wanting more money, why did he leave early today?
Well, I told him that day.
He'd get paid the same if he'd have stayed until normal quitting time.
I told him that day, I said, if you're hard up for money and you need more money, then I said on Thursday, instead of going home at 10 o'clock, work all day. But that's overtime. I said, you don't get paid overtime, you get 40 hours. Well, I want overtime if I work over 32. I said, you ain't gonna get it.
You gotta get the magic 40.
So, I'm tired of trying to please the man. When he told me, when we give him $1.50, that he was satisfied with that and he wasn't gonna ask for nothing else. Now, I'm done with it. If you guys wanna give him a raise, it's up to you two guys, cause I'm voting no.
No, I don't want to either,
And he's not getting, and the only reason he gets a big vacation now is because we give it to him back a couple years ago, wasn't it, somewhere in And part-timers, according to our handbook, ain't supposed to get no vacation. But we were trying to be kind-hearted, good employer, and give him a week's vacation.
An incentive to stay.
Yeah. So, you know, I don't know where else to take it.
I think we need to sit down and have a talk with all three of them.
I agree.
All three of us need to be there and have a talk with all three of them. I think there's some stuff going on that needs addressed,
Absolutely.
and, I don't know, maybe one evening this week or something, we all get together.
Well, you can't do it in the morning.
At 6 o'clock, I'm
Well, if we bring them back in the evening,
I'm here for an hour, or 45 minutes.
we'd have to do it right after they get,
Right.
before they get off,
Right.
because if not, we'd have to pay them overtime to come back in if we told them to come back in.
Roy makes $17 an hour, Keith makes $13.25, and Steve makes $18 an
How
hour.
much does Steve make?
$18.
Roy is at 17?
$17.
Even.
Yes, sir. Sorry, I just didn't know it off the top of my head. That's one of those that,
Well, let's take care of Keith first. Motion to either give him a raise or not give him a raise.
I move we keep him at current salary, current wages.
With no additional vacation or?
Yep.
Second on that?
I'll second on that because of what happened earlier in the year. He got his raise earlier in the year. He knew what the deal was. When he asked for the raise.
You know, I tried to say, should be going home on Thursday. Get 8 hours in. I don't care,
Right.
you know? Well, it's a road crew. He doesn't mow it. I mean, he don't wanna give nothing to us, but he wants
Can he
us to
run the
give
arm
him.
mower?
Huh?
Can he run the arm mower? Can he run the
I
side
don't know how
mower?
to run any tractor or
Okay.
anything.
Right,
The only thing he'd ever
Okay.
run.
I'm just throwing it out there. I mean, if he'd be willing to, you know, run it or something, I might be more considered giving
No, I don't-
more than the hour too. I understand that if he's gonna cut there and tear it up, there's no need to have him out
I
there.
don't wanna put him in that.
I understand that.
even the case mower.
Yeah. I don't think he's ever run anything except the lawnmower and his car,
Okay.
to be honest with you.
Maybe a boat.
Yeah, but,
Well, that shouldn't,
okay, that takes care of that. We got a vote on that, right?
yeah.
Okay.
all in favor?
All in
Nancy
favor?
made a motion to not give Keith raise or extra vacation, you would second it. You asked for a motion either to give a raise or not.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I was still trying to find it where it was in our minutes, guys, I gotta look.
So let's go back to Roy. I think we need to give him a 50-cent raise, which we promised him when we heard it. Any discussion?
Did we mention that amount? 50 cents?
There,
No, we
there
said
was
we'd give him
nothing.
a
A
raise.
raise.
I mean, you can give a quarter, and then you can say, okay, in another 90 days, if you prove yourself, we'll give you another quarter. I mean, you don't have to,
No,
I mean, I'm just saying that
beneficial.
there are-
I think quarter would be.
oh, I know, I was just
Yeah.
making a statement that, you
And-
know, it can also be
yeah.
done that way as well.
We never give anybody that low a raise before, it's always been 50 cents or more, but it's whatever you guys want to do. I mean,
You wanna make this motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion. Give him 50 cents.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. And start that on the next page.
And another little facet here along with, employees. Hopewell, we're gonna have to find a different, laboratory, whatever you wanna call it, to do the drug testing. Hopewell won't do it.
Well, Holder's never sent me the paperwork yet. I got an appointment tomorrow, so, doctor's appointment, so I'll check into it again.
Okay. But the lady called me back, well, she called in, she sent an email that, they didn't feel that they had a, sufficient chain of custody. That's what she called it, chain of custody.
Well, that's the reason I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow, is because when I have my blood work done, and the urine done, they think they made a mistake. So, blood work was fine, but the urine sample didn't quite match. They found alcohol in it, and I don't drink. So,
Talking, I finally found it, I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna address, you guys were asking about what we had put in the minutes. This was the minutes, February the 7th, 2022. It says that, thought presented that Keith Millings asked for a raise of $1.50. Ransom made the motion to give Keith a raise of $1.50. He wouldn't be receiving a helper like he did last year. So that's where that one is at.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Recall
he
that
received,
vividly.
that's exactly what
so
we said.
in February, he received $1.50 already,
Mm-hmm.
so. I'm still trying to find where we put it in for the.
Well, I don't understand that when we hired him, we told him he was a part-time worker, 32 hours. He wants all the benefits of somebody with 40 hours. And it's not there because in our handbook, you don't get that. He's gotta understand. If he wants to work 40 hours and become a full-time employee, then maybe we'll talk about the full benefits, you know?
Okay, so I'm sorry because I didn't ask this. You said, when do you want Roy's raise to be effective? For next payday, which will be Monday, that will be the start of the new pay period.
I would wait till,
Cause they will get paid on next Thursday.
I would wait till they start the new time clock.
Okay, that's fine. I just didn't know if I was supposed to backdate it or if I was
No.
supposed to. That's fine.
That's good.
So, July the 11th is when his raise will go into effect. So it'll be the 11th through, whatever that pay period is. Through the 24th.
And he also jumped me about Thursday. He left at 9 something.
It was not this past Thursday, it was the
The checks
Thursday.
wasn't here.
Yes. No, I met him here to give him his check on Thursday morning, before he left. It was 2 weeks ago, Bob. It wasn't this past Thursday, because I was here.
Well, whenever the pay thing was. Well, he called me and jumped me about, you know, the checks ain't there. And I said, damn, I have to be there till noon. She has the right, they don't have to be on the premises till noon on Thursday.
And yes, I do try to get payroll done, so it's done early enough, cause sometimes the guys will get them Tuesday or Wednesday.
Right.
I mean, if you wanna get technical about it, it's still Thursday till midnight.
Well,
Well,
if
we
you
don't-
want to
Get technical about it.
no one should have to come back in after their paycheck.
Yeah,
Because
we
they
passed
get paid
that
on Thursday.
resolution years ago when we got in a conflict over pay, that the pay would be ready at noon on Thursdays.
Yeah, I know that, but
So, if you get here at 11 o'clock, 11 o'clock, you know? Anyway, we got that problem solved. Okay. He says he's gonna quit if we don't get a raise, so we may have to start looking for a new mow man.
we've looked for employees before.
So we may have to man them all ourselves for a couple of weeks. Anything else?
Just kinda backing up a little bit when we was looking at the minutes. Did you meet with the ODNR about the plug well on Medicare?
They haven't sent me nothing
I
yet?
haven't sent one, it was just in the minutes, old business, so.
Yeah, they never sent me anything yet, they haven't done nothing over there, I was over last week, yeah, last week. And they haven't done nothing yet, so. Anything else, new business?
New business? There's some rent for the firehouse last month. One time, we had some others scheduled, but the storms scared everybody away. They called and canceled.
They had to pull them thinner down to the river last time, and they paid for the month anyway, because the schedule got well.
Well,
Now, the schedule that way, and we do the money, we'll do the money.
$25 for the rental on the fire department.
mhm.
Anything else? Not,
You guys want me to read this to you, or you look at it, got any questions on it? The monthly report?
no, I kind of understood.
I have a question.
You're welcome.
As far as the brush truck
Mm-hmm.
being hooked to the trailer, does it respond to anything else besides the brush fires? Do you take it out on, like, vehicle wrecks or anything like that to help with traffic?
We can, yes. And talking along that,
But what I'm getting
what I'm
at,
trying to get the guys to do is use 55 to pull the trailer. 56, if it's a brush fire, they'll be able to get out there with that truck.
I agree, yes. And the other.
But they like to drag that trailer on the back of that big truck.
And what, the other thing I'm getting at is you have that weight of the trailer, and once, right now it's not so bad, but once we get the skid plate unit in, now you got the skid plate unit in it, then you have the trailer hooked up to it, then you got the weight of the buggy on it, and it's a lot of weight on a truck sitting there.
Right.
That's all I'm, that's where I'm headed with it.
And the reason I've been trying to express to them, take 56 and head for the brush truck, or brush fire, because you can get 4 to 5 guys in that truck and get it out on the scene quicker, instead of dragging that trailer. And we've been on to them, when you have that trailer, you don't run with hot.
And a perfect example of that would have been when we responded to Washburn's that evening.
Mm-hmm.
If they would have brought 56, 55 didn't have to come out of the building at all.
Right.
Didn't have to bring the trailer, didn't have to beat that trailer down that county road. If it would have sat there and waited till somebody on scene says, hey, it's almost nothing,
Right.
you know.
That is a station operating procedure, and somebody's violating that procedure, it needs to be handled.
Correct.
Usually Jim's first one there anyway, and he can analyze the scene, tell us what we need, tell us what we don't need.
Right.
Every member don't have to bring a vehicle, an apparatus that is, not a vehicle, an apparatus, you don't have to bring an engine, 2 engines, brush truck, tender. Until you know what you need, in my opinion, may not be worth much.
Well,
Until you know what you need, it probably should not leave the firehouse.
in my eyes, I've never been a firefighter or anything like that, but it looks like me pulling a trailer, you're gonna lose time pulling a trailer. And once you get there, you'd have to unhook the trailer for the brush truck to be able to even
Exactly.
do anything. That's just,
Exactly.
that's my opinion on it. I've never been around firefighting or anything like that. It's just, I just think that it'd be
We'll start next month, you will be.
wiser to, we'll see how, but, yeah,
Yeah.
just thought I'd mention that tonight. I don't know. I mean, to me, that's a lot of weight on the truck, sitting
That's a
there.
lot of weight on the truck, and
I mean, granted, it's not, the truck's that's made for that stuff, but,
well, the next thing you're gonna be doing, putting a set of springs on the back of the truck.
right,
Because it sits there with all that weight on it all the time, and the
Right.
springs get weaker.
Right.
Believe me, I know that.
Another thing I discussed with them is the guys responding to emergency calls when they're not on time for work. But if they have to be there late, we've got paperwork I can submit to their employee or to their employer stating why they're late. and they cannot punish them for being late,
Right.
as long as it's legit.
Well, where I work.
And like I told them, that's not to take the whole day off. You go home, get cleaned up, or whatever you gotta do, and get to work.
Go to work. Dalton's always was real lenient on that. They really wanted the firefighters, you remember, to go and come to work later. They didn't care.
Right.
They
It's
were
Ohio
really,
state law.
they was really good about that.
It's not just our, like James said, it's a state law.
Right. So let's go back to the camera deal before we close.
Okay.
You wanna total this, or you wanna talk about it now, or what do you wanna do?
He said he'd like to come out and talk to you, and I went ahead and invited him out to let you know.
I think at the very least, it probably should be tabled until a future date, I don't know what date. Just because of what we've already discussed tonight about funds and availability of money and what we can and cannot
Exactly.
spend, should and should not spend.
Well, present it to us, so we need to address it.
Are we having issues out there? Are people breaking in yet or anything?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not
Okay.
yet.
Yeah, I understand. At any time it could happen.
Well, later on, maybe we can, if we decide to do this,
Right.
and the money's available, we'll have both facilities, because we have been broken into 3 times here. And they stole everything we had over there, so we might want
Everything that was loose or that they could
to
make
package deal
loose.
for both buildings.
And we had the cameras at that time, but we weren't able to access them.
You know.
Did he say it's had a ding where when one goes off, it dings straight to your phone? Or does it have that capability?
I think it,
Or capability?
I'm not sure, I
Okay.
think
That's
that's.
something we'll have to talk to him about.
Well, this one here was that way, but it's never got set up that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could, yeah, if we have the same system in a barn, and I can monitor our barn with my cell phone. So. Okay. No more new business?
So we're just tabling it till next meeting.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
yes.
we just said table it.
Table it until, I don't know.
Or you
How
can
many
table
times
it.
can they
over-
table it?
I don't know that there is.
Did we ever get our extra, round of ARC money? How come?
I don't know.
Did we have to fill out more paperwork on
Not to
that?
my knowledge. So,
The,
I know Ludo's got theirs, and Troy's got theirs. That's the reason I was asking.
oh, okay.
one more thing that I know about. Athens Transmission's called this afternoon. The red truck should be finished and back here, he said Friday, but he wasn't aware that we don't work Friday, so
Right.
it may be Thursday, but most likely it'll be next Monday. And he said besides fixing the transmission, he said it was fried. He said the inside of that transmission was fried.
So what'd they do?
Had to rebuild the whole thing.
Well, I didn't know whether rebuilding,
Yeah.
rebuilding, or
Yeah.
that's a new one.
No, I
Wow.
think Case was okay, I believe, or he would have said so. But he also said that gear shift lever needed addressed, and he didn't wanna be responsible for it, so I told him to fix it. So you'd know what gear you was in, well, you know.
Yeah, I've been that way for
He
years.
said whoever was in there last time left parts and pieces out of it, there was a pawl and a catch on a spring that was missing.
Don Wood done that the last time when they replaced it up there. Never did show, after we got it back from him, never did show what gear it was in. So, okay, that's good. We need it back. So my opinion is, we'll never take anything else out the swings.
No,
They lied to us.
They're-
A truck sat out there, it happened on Monday, and I drove down there to their garage and asked them if they would work on it. And they said, yes, we will work on it, we'll come right up and get it. It sat there for a week
I know.
and never went and got it, so. And then he said he didn't want to put it on his horse.
yeah, but you'd already had it on the hoist previously. He just might as well have said, I don't wanna do it.
So where's this at, and that on Plymouth Road?
No, Hebbardsville Road, Actually, it's almost right across from Warehouse Tire.
Oh,
Has Carter Mill, Smith Concrete on the left.
I just wanted to work that, in case we have to, we get that truck. Okay, we're still gonna fix the shifter. Good deal. Alright, anything else?
Did you get a motion for this, or no one ever made a motion? Dave, what,
No,
Like
just Branson
motion.
started to, but no one seconded it,
how,
so.
how long, you want time limit on it, or do you wanna talk about next month, or let it go for?
Well, I think part of his notes there said 30 days, didn't it, for those quotes? Didn't I see that? Yeah,
Down at the bottom.
estimate 30 days. Well, even if the estimate goes up, I just don't think we're in a position that we can buy it right now.
That's my opinion too. I mean, it's a good price, probably the cheapest one we've had.
Look at it again in 2 months. Be part of my motion.
And if you're lucky, things might go down.
Lucky, yeah.
Second on the motion,
I'll say.
You should talk about slots,
all in favor?
slot
Aye.
machines, being a one-armed bandit. Now I think it's a convenience store. Every time you pick up a pump handle, that's the one-armed bandit for the day.
Motion to close,
I'll make the motion.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank everybody for coming.
Branson on a slot machine, some people do win once in a while, you don't win it.
You don't win at the pump